What's going on, everybody? So today we're doing week 2 of the Sword and Shield inventory update. Basically what we're doing, we're looking at all the booster boxes from Battle Styles to Silver Tempest on eBay. We're taking current market price from TCG Player because I think that's probably the best way of doing it still. 20% leg up. We're looking at how many booster boxes are on eBay below that 20% leg up, how many sold in the past week, and how many days of remaining inventory there is. And there have been some big changes this week. So Battle Styles, to start off, was down like 50 cents, really nothing, honestly. But if they're in red, they did go down. Green means that the box price went up over the past week. Basically the same price though, around $182, 20% leg up, $218. There's 83 boxes on the market below 218. They're selling at 3.43 a day, so we have seen an uptick in sales over the past week, and that gives us 24.2 days of remaining inventory for Battle Styles. And you guys can see on TCG Player, I am pulling the prices from here. I don't know how often these update, if they do it more than once a day, but I took it today, this morning, April 23rd, those prices. So Battle Styles has come down a little bit from its high, but that's fine. And really, we have seen a drop in the inventory there, which is something to keep an eye on. Chilling Reign up next, up to $333.41. So that's a pretty decent jump from last week. A 20% leg up would be $400. There's 59 boxes of supply below that 20% leg up, which is a decrease from last week. And we're seeing them sell at 4 boxes a day over the past week. So that is a huge uptick, which means there's only 14.75 days of remaining inventory for Chilling Reign, which is a massive decrease from last week. And honestly, that's not super surprising because I think at around $320, those boxes were still undervalued. I think at $330, they're still probably a little bit undervalued. So we'll see where this goes next week. I think we're probably going to see less of an uptick in terms of price and decrease in terms of boxes on the market next week. I think we're getting to a decent spot on Chilling Reign, but I could be wrong. This could continue to go. Evolving Skies up to $13.50 almost this week, up around $50, like 4%, something like that. 20% leg up would be $16.18.63. 58 boxes listed on the open market. And one thing to note, for Evolving Skies, if you go check eBay, and again, this is all North American buy it now boxes. If you open up most of the listings, they are single quantity and they're not from big sellers. So basically it's like around 58 individual sellers, maybe like closer to 50, but around that many sellers with a box below 1600, and a lot of them around that 1500 range. So there's going to be a couple weeks, I think, before we break through this point, but 6.86 sales per day. So over the past week, we've seen a huge uptick in this, lots of Evolving Skies selling. That means there's only 8.45 days of remaining inventory before we see boxes hit 1620. So maybe I'm wrong in saying there's a couple weeks. I imagine more boxes are going to hit the market though, especially getting close to this like 1500 range. Now, before we talk about the rest of the sets, I want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, PokeNotify. You guys already know PokeNotify is a Discord service offering you the fastest notifications for drops, restocks, and deals on Pokemon product. For example, today we saw the Prismatic Evolutions PC ETBs and booster bundles restock on the Pokemon Center. So if you got in early, if you had PokeNotify, hopefully you guys got some boxes. It seemed like there was a lot of supply that hit the market. They cover all the main regions of the world, all the main websites. $7.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. They also have a 3-day free trial that you can use as well. And if you want to purchase a subscription, you can use the code PROFIT25 for 25% off your first month. I'll leave the links in the description and pinned comment down below. And thank you to PokeNotify for sponsoring the video. Now, moving into Fusion Strike in these next boxes, this is where things kind of get juicy. So Fusion Strike up to 481.63 on TCG Player, slowly going back up, and we've seen sales in the 500 range. A 20% leg up would be $578 approximately. There's 42 boxes on the open market below that. They're selling at 3.86 per day, meaning that there's only 10.88 days of supply left for Fusion Strike, which is fairly consistent with last week, and even the same sales volume in terms of how many sold per day. So nothing too crazy going on with Fusion Strike, but we are slowly seeing it uptick. Brilliant Stars at $292.77 as per TCG Player. 20% leg up would be $351.32. There are 22 booster boxes on eBay listed below that, selling at 3.71 boxes per day, which is a little bit down from last week's 4.0, but that means there's 5.93 days of remaining inventory on eBay, which is down from last week. And it is the first box below 6 days of remaining inventory, which means it is getting low, guys. Brilliant Stars. I would imagine we see this push into the 300s very shortly. Astral Radiance up next, down a couple dollars this week to 266 approximately. 20% leg up would be 319.16. Only 14 boxes on eBay listed below 320 or 319.16 if you want to be technical. 1.57 boxes are selling per day based on last week. That means there's 8.92 days of Astral Radiance left, which is down a lot from last week, and the sales volume is going up slightly. Next up is Lost Origin, up to $383.12, so up, a couple dollars. 20% leg up would be around $460. There are 83 boxes listed on eBay right now, selling at 3.43 per day. That means there's 24.2 days of inventory remaining. A lot of these boxes, I think like 40 of them or 41, something like that, are coming from Hobbiesville. So they basically are just dumping a bunch of boxes on eBay right now for purchase at a pretty competitive price. So it will take a lot longer now for Lost Origin to see a leg up. And, maybe there's going to be more sellers that even put up more boxes. But I wouldn't imagine Lost Origin is going to be the next one to move. And then finally, Silver Tempest down to $264 approximately, so a few bucks there. 20% leg up would be $316. There are 62 booster boxes listed below that, selling at 2.29 per day, meaning there's 27.07 days of remaining inventory. So what I take away from this week, and what you guys should probably take away as well, is that Brilliant Stars, there really is not a ton out there, guys. Even with this box slowly moving up, we're not seeing more supply hit the market. Last week there were 27 boxes. This week there's 22. And maybe some of these stores are holding off putting their boxes up until this gets into the 300s, but we're really just not seeing that. So keep an eye on Brilliant Stars. Outside that, Astral Radiance, there's not a ton of boxes out there either. 14 boxes. It wouldn't take that long to chew through that. Other ones, Evolving Skies, below 10 days of inventory as well, and selling at a very fast rate, the fastest of all the boxes for this week. And again, guys, I don't count sealed cases. I'm only counting loose boxes. And if it was an open case of 6 boxes, I would count that too. But I think we need to start looking at sealed cases as something different. Either way, I don't think it would affect the data too much because there really isn't that many sealed cases that move on a weekly basis for a lot of these sets. But there was a sealed case of Evolving Skies that did sell this week as well. So that is something to point out. But almost 7 a day is very impressive. So keep an eye on Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies. Outside that, I think it's too early to tell on a lot of these boxes. I think Lost Origin, it's going to take a while for those boxes to get chewed through, especially if Hobbiesville leaves them up. Silver Tempest, same deal. Battle Styles, kind of just chugging along. Chilling Reign, I mean, that could be a dark horse over the next couple weeks, but I think we are going to see that slow down a bit, especially if Lost Origin doesn't start moving either. But you guys let me know, as always, in the comments down below what you think. Also, go check out PokeNotify if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.